Alright, so you guys are back with Bryant in the Apex Gamer channel, bringing you another ranked gameplay. This is another post-commentary gameplay. I'm going to get back to my fighter requests and get back to my live comms. Eventually, it's just kind of got to be worked into my schedule back the right way. But today is a beautiful Saturday. Well, it's actually not beautiful. It's been raining pretty much all night and all day today, on and off. So it's been kind of mopey, kind of droll outside, you know, where I'm at. But it is what it is. We're looking at another beautiful night in UFC. The Twitter is on screen. Just in case you didn't follow me from the last video, I'm gonna start to incorporate that more often so you guys can see my Twitter handle, so you can follow me there, so you can get updates on anything I decide in reference to content or the channel, or just talk to me and have a good time and enjoy enjoy each other. So follow me up on Twitter. But today is to talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov headlining against Al Iaquinta. At the time of this fight, Anthony Pettis was the front runner to get the fight, but I was playing online ranked as Anthony Pettis. I think he might be the highest ranked character that I play with in this entire game. But as you can tell, I'm Anthony Pettis. I'm moving around. I'm trying to fight this Khabib in ranked, who is being Khabib, trying to grapple me, trying to hold me in positions. You know, the typical experience you get when you play against Khabib. But the question of this video, and the topic of this video is, are you still excited for UFC 222 after all the madness that ensued this week? This week has been a crazy week in combat sports, not just in MMA, but in boxing as well. The Canelo Alvarez Triple G fight finally officially fell through. Tony Ferguson slipped on ice and hurt his knee, completely blew his knee out, so he won't be back for a long time. Then the whole situation with Conor McGregor making a very bad career move, like the worst possible scenario for him, doing the worst possible thing. I just don't understand the type of people that are around you that would let you, in his situation, make decisions like that, and not come into question. I'm so confused and disappointed in the actions taken by one Conor McGregor. I'm not gonna condemn the man, because everybody makes mistakes, but not everybody makes mistakes of that magnitude, you know. I mean, but people who do make those mistakes, they deal with it, you know. Like, a lot of famous people were coming out and speaking on behalf of famous people who've been in situations that have made crazy decisions, like ridiculously irrational choices, have come out and said, you know, we all make mistakes, none of us are perfect. And that's true for everybody. And if everybody had to be under a magnifying glass, I think the mistakes we all make would be something that someone else can scoff at. But that's not me. That's not my MO. That's not what I do. I ain't got no time to be trying to cast my judgment on people and say what is or what isn't for them. All I can say is that he and his family and everybody, all of his fans, are going to be in the same situation. We're all going to be hurt and disappointed by what has divulged and what has become pretty much a bad look and a stain on his existence, and stain on his career. And that's always going to be, that's how it's going to be, because that's, you know, you can't rewrite history. And no matter what he does from this point on, that's always going to be there. And it is what it is. But in reference to UFC 223, even after that incident, because of that incident, we lost 3 fights on that card. We lost Artem Lobov versus Alex Caceres fight, which wasn't ridiculously high on people's radars, but I was still pretty interested. I like Alex Caceres. I like what Artem Lobov can bring to the table. I thought that was going to be a match made trial by fire situation for both fighters. And I was super excited to see how their clashing of styles mixed, because I feel like Alex Caceres would be a similar look for him to Conor, because they're both very hard to predict. Only difference is Conor has better in-tight boxing. Well, not even. Conor's long-range boxing is better, cleaner, more concise, more direct than Alex Caceres, and his hands are more of a threat. But kicking is more of a threat from Caceres, and whereas he sees similar looks from Conor, the kicks would have had a more potent effect. But not gonna get that match. We're missing out on the Ray Borg versus Brandon Moreno match, which was super exciting for the flyweight division. And because of the shuffling for the main event, we ended up losing the Paul Felder versus Al Iaquinta fight. So now Al Iaquinta is fighting against Khabib in the main event, which is exciting in its own right. Yes, I'm truly happy that we get to see that, because it's a different look for Khabib to fight somebody like Raging Al, because I feel like, me personally, I feel like the only person in the top 5 Khabib has fought has been Edson Barboza, and that is a strong competitor in the top 5, but I have my opinions of Edson Barboza within fighting that, you know, I have my opinions, but Al Iaquinta is one of those guys that I feel like he should have had to fight already in his career, but now he's getting to fight him now. But it's in a weird situation. But I was really hoping for the Pettis fight, and I was hoping for the Pettis fight for Pettis' sake, because if he could have got in there and even mixed it up and made it competitive with Khabib, that would have put a lot of the Pettis like down talkers and the naysayers, that have put a lot of them down, and it would have gave him an opportunity to really show people that he's been working on anything, or be manhandled and prove nothing, which would have been, you know, very, very telling of his career for on both sides. Regardless of result, it would have been a very telling situation for him. So I wanted that one to come together, because we'd have still kept the Paul Felder Al Iaquinta matchup, but because Michael Chiesa was hurt in the flurry of the Conor McGregor situation, we lost to Pettis versus Iaquinta, not Pettis versus Chiesa. So we pretty much just lose Pettis on the card altogether because of everything that happened. And I'm confused as how the fight didn't happen for Pettis and Nurmagomedov. There it is, the crazy finish, the crazy finish. I didn't really talk about the fight, the in-game fight, as much. You saw what was going on if you watched the fight, or you can go back and rewatch it without turn the audio off and just rewatch the fight. Khabib was all over me, trying to grapple me, trying to hold me down. We eventually got to stand up where he started to feel comfortable. He felt like he was comfortable and competent enough in the stand up, and he got mixed up, blended up, hit up, and then forced to make a bad decision. And I made a good read going for the cartwheel kick, because I knew he was going to do something long and outlandish, like either a head kick or an overhand. In this case, he chose overhand. I knew it was going to be something long. I just kind of had a feel on it, and I was looking for the cartwheel, and I was like, well, I'm just going to throw this cartwheel out, and I'm pretty sure he's going to throw something long and something outlandish, and I'm gonna capitalize and hit him upside the head with the cartwheel. Beautiful finish, beautiful work. You know, I love doing things like that to people. I love that cartwheel kick, especially when it's timed correctly and using practical applications and just done. It's so satisfying whenever it happens in real time, and you just don't know what to say. But the point of this video is to say, are you still excited for UFC 223? Because I'm still excited for 223. I still want to see Al Iaquinta versus Khabib, even though it's not the fight that was originally paid. You know, a lot of downgrading has happened. The Doug Rose versus Johanna fight still on the card, still compelling. You got Calvin Kattar, who's been looking like a stud, moving up very fast. He's fighting Renato Moicano, who isn't exactly on a win streak, if I'm not mistaken. Moicano's last big performance was against Bryant Ortega, but he lost. But it was a good fight for Moicano, because you got to see that he's not just a grappler. He was out there throwing hands. So Calvin Kattar's been out there putting people on skates. He had a really good fight in his debut against touchy-feely Andre Feely. He got to show what he's made of a little bit. Then he fought Shane Burgos, who I really like. Shane Burgos' boxing style. I like his acumen, and they both went to war, and Calvin Kattar came out the strong one. Then we got Magomed Sharapov, who's like the 135-pound Anthony Pettis, throwing jumping knees off the cage. So it's something to still be excited for on that card. We got Joe Lozon versus Gutzmacher. What's her name? Karolina Kowalkiewicz is on the card fighting Felice Herrick, who's been on a tear and who's been moving through the division quietly. Felice Herrick has been moving up the division, just moving up rank. We got the Beck Rawling versus Ashley M. Smith at 125. Compelling, because neither one of these girls have looked ridiculously great in the weight class that they were in. Both could have been just weighing too much or weighing too little in the weight class, and that could have been affecting their ability to perform. So it's interesting, it's compelling. Though that fight is on Fox Sports 1, so even if you're not buying the main card, there's still some good content there for the undercard. So keep that in mind before you make a crash decision and don't watch it. I didn't watch Bellator last night. I didn't even realize it was on. I went and watched the highlights this morning. Benson Henderson got a submission victory over Roger Huerta. Good for him. Good for him. Glad to see him doing work finally outside of the UFC, doing good things. It was against an opponent who hadn't fought in a really long time, against an opponent who hadn't fought at a high level in a really long time. But still, a win is a win. A submission finish is a win. It's a win, you know, so it's good for him. But on to the next one. This has been Bryant, the Apex Gamer channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the fight. Like I said, I didn't really talk about the fighting game. It's really a topic video to talk about UFC 223, and if you're still excited for it. So, you know, it is what it is. I didn't really get to talk about the fight, but like I said, if you really want to see the fight and you really don't want my commentary, I have no problem with you rewinding at the beginning, lowering the audio, and watching for the nuance in the fight. That's what we're here for. But until next time, it's been Bryant. See you guys on the next video as soon as possible. You know, my schedule been kind of wonky, so it's been kind of hard to get things done the way I want to do them, but we're gonna get back there to the place where we all love eventually. So see you until then. Y'all have a good night. Let me know what you think about the fights actually after the fights are over. If you watch the card and you weren't gonna watch the card before, if you watch the card and some of the fights are hot, come back to this video and let's talk in the comment section about what fights came through that you weren't expecting to see magic out of. What fights came through for you and made you excited even though you didn't expect to see much out of them. Let me know in the comment section as soon as possible. But see you guys, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it right after the fight. So hit me up as soon as you can, and we're gonna carry the conversation over into the new day. So see you guys tonight. Peace.